Listen, guys, I know our brains play tricks on us and that we all may feel like this at times, but believe it or not, you are not the worst person in the world. You're still a Kwite viewer, so don't get too relieved, but trust me, you can do worse whether you realized it was possible or not. That means you can still go down in life, don't forget that. Hi again, guys, and to remind you to have a little more faith in yourself, I wanted to look at the subreddit r/I am a total piece of doo-doo. They use a meaner word for poop than that, but it's pretty self-explanatory. This subreddit catalogues the worst of the worst, and I have hand-selected some pics that are less morbid than the majority of the posts because it can get depressing, man. I'm trying to keep this video to folks who are mostly just extreme public nuisances, or they at least just did something that there was no real motivation to do beyond like you felt doing it, or worse. If you enjoy how much better of a person this video makes you feel like, this card at the end will take you to another one like it. Also, less than 20% of y'all are subscribed with notifications on. If you sub and hit that bell icon, you'll never miss an upload, and you can always undo it later. Why steal life-saving equipment? We're really disappointed to tell you that this defibrillator has been stolen. This machine is here to save lives, so we are working with our suppliers to get this replaced as soon as possible. I mean, yeah, that's a really scummy thing to do, man, but have you considered that this dude might just be a really big Thor cosplayer? Listen, I'm just saying, this might not have been out of malice. Think about how many electricity-based comic book characters there are. Static Shock, Thor, Electro, Cole from Infamous, man, The Flash if you want to get pedantic, Peter Griffin when he's wearing his big fuzzy bathrobe. Listen, cosplayers out there are really scrappy individuals, and they are working against the odds and within their budget to make the best things they can. So yeah, maybe someone will have a heart attack and the defibs won't be around to resuscitate them when they become legally dead, but maybe the person who's dying should have thought about what the other person's going through. A government official in Indian state, I'm sorry, I cannot say that right, was suspended after allegedly draining a staggering 21 liters of water from a reservoir to recover his expensive phone. He emptied the entire reservoir, which could have irrigated 1,500 acres of farmland. Jeez. Yeah, okay, that's definitely more than 21 liters. I'm just not familiar with that unit of measurement. Man, these government bureaucrats always on their damn phones. You know why we don't have clean water to irrigate our crops? Because you're always on that damn phone. And for some reason, it was actually true this time. My question is when they actually fished the iPhone out of the water, did it even still work? I know those things are supposed to be somewhat waterproof, but I feel like there's a limit there. My guess is there was some stuff on that phone this guy did not want people to find. You know, if someone decided to go D-almighty down there and see what they could find at the bottom of a lake. Because the amount of money it must have cost to drain the entire thing, there's no way it compared to how much it would have cost to just buy a new iPhone, dude. Poisoning people because they didn't tip, and then this dude's just spraying Raid inside the McDonald's bag before he seals it. This is the average Baltimore Ravens fan. I have no idea if that's true to any stereotypes around Baltimore Ravens fans. I don't even watch football. It's just funny because I know some people will probably get riled up in the comments about it. You know, you gotta do what you can for interaction bait. I hope this is fake, but if it's not, there's a good chance that the dude who sprayed that Raid into the bag got a little on his fingertips. I'm not saying that I want this for him, but you know, there's a potential chance that he might have forgotten to wash his hands before the next time he eats. It won't save the other guy, but it might take him with him. Not that I'd want that or wish that on anybody else. That would be that'd really be messed up, man. Miami charter pops balloons and proceeds to throw them directly into the ocean. Dude, I think you're doing a little too much here. I think you need to back off, like, just relax. I mean, those boat staff are literally just feeding the fish. They're taking care of the local wildlife. Is that not what you're supposed to do? You guys need to understand plastic is a part of any organic being's diet. It's healthy. Why do you think every packaging for food is made of plastic? They wouldn't do that if it was dangerous. That's exactly why every cell of your body has microplastics in it. Microplastics are being found in men's testicles because it's good for them. Why else would they be there? Same goes for lead and asbestos. If we used it everywhere, it's because it was probably good for us, right, guys? Right? You know, it is kind of like a link between generations that each new group of people has their own passive poison in the air. You know, one we don't learn about all the effects of until it's way too late to undo the damage.
This for everybody. They got me fucked up. You hear me?
You bought the TVs up?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna find out.
I brought that TV from my house.
This dude is just smashing TVs with a baseball bat while wearing an off-white bag. It says there's a full video on YouTube. I'm not gonna go look, much less watch it. But how many views can it have? If most of the eyes on are from this small, tiny little clip, it is making no money. Is it enough to beat the Chargers and to pay for the TV that you smashed in? By the end, will you have more money than you would have if you just, you know, sold the off-white bag? You know, unless it's fake. Was this one viral video worth it? I ask myself the same question very often. The worst part is, half the videos I ask myself that question about do not go viral by any stretch of the imagination. This tree was over 300 years old, and he cut it down for what? To be famous for cutting down the tree? Boy, 16, arrested after felling of famous sycamore gap tree at Hadrian's Wall. Well, I mean, maybe the tree should have gotten out of the way when it was asked to. Listen, it's a 300-year-old tree. I know we're supposed to take care of the elderly because of what they contributed to society, and the fact that they made everything I'm doing now possible by building it on their shoulders. But what the fuck did that tree do for us? It's still standing, so it was never cut down for its timber to build homes. It certainly never had a job or paid rent. No, it's just leached off the system. A French friend of mine parked in the UK, and this is important, in brackets, Luton, parked on your own street, all caps, damn. If you value your tires, then move it ASAP. Everyone on this street is getting very annoyed. Any validity the argument these people might have had, like maybe this person really shouldn't have been like parked in there, immediately lost when they spelled tires with a fucking Y, dude. You could be through text making the most morally sound and logical argument I've ever heard, but as soon as you use the British spelling of a word, it's over. It's like the equivalent of making a minor spelling mistake and therefore you lose the argument on steroids. To be fair, I'm not surprised that this is in Luton at all. Horror stories of that place reach across the ocean, my guy. Didn't Max Fosh do a prank where he made a big sign outside of the Heathrow or some shit that said, "Welcome to Luton," and plenty of people were scared shitless that they had ended up in that town? I feel like it speaks volumes. In the UK, you guys just hate Birmingham, you hate Luton. I think you guys hate most of the places you live, but to be fair, UK. I just don't think we have an equivalent like that in America, other than just like suburban hell in general. Like even Detroit and Chicago have a lot to do there in rich culture, I guess. I don't know. A passenger received a bomb threat via airdrop while inside the aircraft. Flight delayed for 2 hours. Okay, you gotta admit, the way the text in the bomb threat is phrased is a little silly. This plane is going to go boom! And then it's just a stock image of a homemade bomb. Like, they barely tried with this shit, man. It's so unserious. I understand why they need to take this stuff seriously. Like, I'm not dogging down on that, and obviously this is a bad thing to actually do. But the concept of this as a joke is very funny. Come on, just bear with me for a second. Imagine this as a Family Guy cutaway gag. See what I mean? Princeton graduate kills his own father when his weekly allowance was reduced from $1,000 to $300. Dude, why is he mewing? Like, I'm getting mogged right now. I'm looking directly into the eyes of someone who committed patricide and feel like he's just, mogging me. One thing I did notice is that his haircut doesn't match his forehead, which does not match his nice jawline. The face of evil looks directly into the camera. It genuinely looks like exaggerated face apt mewing too. I don't understand how that's possible. Not cool, man. Knock it off. The smug expressions on their face as they licked the frosting in their mouth. Got all synced up for it. Obviously pissed me off. I hate people like that. But at least the video ended with the piece of shit in question getting shit slung back at them. The dude who was throwing had good aim too. Like, that shit landed boom square on. You gotta respect a dude with like a hefty pitching arm, especially when he's throwing something of a pretty decent mass. How does someone manage to take up 4 spots at once? Okay, listen, I'm not trying to look down on anybody. It'd be kind of impossible because I'm 5'5". But like, dude, what do you mean how? Look in front of you. By sitting at the intersection of all 4. Like, the answer to your question is right in front of you. Jesus Christ. But modern pickup trucks are like the natural predator of children in the wild alongside priests. The way this dude is spreading out his wheels in every spot he can manage reminds me of the dude who was king in Foursquare as a kid. And they just make up a bunch of bullshit rules that made sure they'd stay in office forever. I can absolutely understand how power-hungry dictators do everything they can to cling to that power. Just making up new laws and getting rid of everybody in their inner circle they think might even be a remote threat. All because I played Foursquare as a kid. I remember only the king can spike rule. A certain rock guitarist sued a woman for briefly listing a CD she didn't know was a bootleg on eBay. She was selling it for $11 apparently, and now she owes thousands. This rich prick, he better be like strapped for cash and getting really desperate. I'm just saying, this guy would have died in the LimeWire days, at least from what I'm told. I wasn't exactly around back then. I just know it would be even worse in the current era of YouTube to MP3 downloaders. I believe it's past the statute of limitations, but the amount of songs I had in my middle school playlist that I just downloaded straight off of YouTube is unfunny. And I would download the really scuffed listings too, where there'd just be a minute of silence at the end of the video because some dude poorly cropped out the actual song. I'd download music videos with the weird skits in the middle because that's the only way I listen to those songs at home anyways. Festival goers shine lasers at passenger plane that's flying overhead. Oh man, okay, yeah, this is an objectively dangerous and it's irresponsible thing to do. I hope that flight landed safely and nobody got hurt. But it does look kind of sick. You guys ever see those drone light shows where it looks like there's big holograms in the sky? It just looks kind of like that to me. It's like if Spider-Man's webs were made out of snot and or other really gross colored bodily fluids. They might look like that if he was on a vegan diet and his webs came out of where they would anatomically come out of if he was really a spider. All of these cars belong to the house on the right. The offender runs a Turo rental for multiple cars out of his house and parks his cars on his neighbor's lawn when he runs out of space. They also block the sidewalk freedom of travel. Neighbor on the left is 90 and doesn't like confrontation. And I mean, yeah, you could lose a lot at age 90 if you confront a dude who's a little too angry. Someone who can't control their temper even the tiniest bit. That said, if you want to do something about your neighbor, buddy, I have a solution for you. Assuming, you're a little younger than 90 and could handle some punches, if you're afraid of fisticuffs as retaliation for what I'm about to suggest, I would say park even more cars in front of that guy's driveway. They might complain to you, say, "What are you doing? You're blocking my right of way." Well, they can do something about it. Just call the towing company. That way they can see all the cars you have on not your property. Like, what do they want more? To be able to get out of their driveway or to keep running their business? The San Fran Sleep Pod. $700 a month for a bed-sized pod in downtown San Francisco. Techies are renting them. Of course, it's a Silicon Valley type. And to be fair, $700 a month is a fucking steal at San Fran, dude. I think this ideal has been proposed in New York City, and I think it actually happens in Hong Kong. It's not good, but landlords are always trying to push the boundaries, ain't they? The good news is, if you are genuinely considering this, you can watch the Mr. Beast video of being buried underground to see what living like that would actually be. Just keep an eye on his rapid descent into insanity when he has to stay down there for a week, and if you think that's something you could live with for that much a month, then go for it. This piece of shit hates on a father getting a tattoo of a drawing from deceased daughter. The very last message my daughter made sure I had before she passed away this year. "I love you, Dad." Brings a tear to your eye. If only the child wrote and drew better. No offense, but that mess is an eyesore. Wo ain't doit better. Shut the fuck up. Spell right, dumbass. You say no offense, but it really does feel like you meant offense. And who really cares if this one guy thinks it's an eyesore? Most people are just gonna appreciate the sentiment if you tell them the story. And that's if they even see it. Bro, it's on his thigh. It's gonna be covered up in most formal settings. To me, it's like losing a job because you got a tramp stamp at one point. Like, why was your employer even looking there? Couple contaminate drought-stricken town's water supply by dyeing waterfall blue for gender reveal. Dude, it's like a Drake diss track, but with water. Big gender reveal party. Get it? Seriously, man, I get being excited for what your kid's gonna come out as, but you cannot care this much. Enough to dye the local water supply? Like, what are we doing? So many of these gender reveal parties culminate into danger in other people's lives. Statistically speaking, there is gonna be at least one person whose gender reveal party threatened other people's lives, and the kid who they were so big on revealing the gender of is gonna end up being trans. I'm not trying to dictate who anybody is or what they should be, but statistically speaking, it's gonna happen some point. And then that party and the danger they put other people in will have been for even less than nothing. Woman stole money from her boyfriend's bank account for a Beyonce concert when he had the money saved for his child's heart surgery. Not only is that incredibly fucked up, it's also really dumb. I can respect a piece of shit who knows how to move correctly, What you should have done is guilt trip Beyonce with your child's heart surgery. There's a chance you could have gotten her to pay for it and to give you all free tickets. This is just what happens when you don't know how to play the field like a real one. You make dumb decisions and you get even worse consequences as a result. Blue wanted to make sure that nobody would hit his door. I mean, if you think about it, this guy's a little more courteous than the dude with the big pickup truck taking up 4 spots. He straddled the line perfectly. You could probably put like a motorcycle or two, and in that case, you're just maximizing space. And the way he has it set up right now, he made sure that no people next to him will hit his car's door or the other way around. If you ask me, that's kind of considerate of the really rich guy with the really nice car. That's all I got. I'm going to wrap this video up here. That card I mentioned should be on screen, and be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and I will see you guys next time.